walking through probably about 5 different grocery stores to try to find what it was I was exactly looking for. In the summer, big city, you have a lot of different options. One of the probably the ones that I'm going to go with, it's an organic banana. You'll notice that it's larger. It's not overly ripe, and the reason why you're going to focus on something that's not overly ripe is because you need it to hold together when it's being cooked. So those are probably the ones that I think are going to work out the best. They may not necessarily. Also another smaller organic banana, but you'll notice that it's getting some brown spots, not necessarily going to work so well. I tried one of these earlier actually, failed completely, just too soft. Tastes beautiful, but not necessarily a good cooking banana. I love these. I love the look of these. These are sort of a silk banana. These particular ones are from Colombia. They should look really good inside on top of a plate. I'm going to try to use them. They may fail as well, but I'm going to try to cook them maybe a little less than the other ones that I'm going to do. There we go. You've got your pan. It's been heating for about 2 minutes. It's warm. You are now going to take your butter. I'm going to guess this is something around 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put that in. You're going to see that you've got some bubbling there. That's good. You want the bubbling off. That means that you know your pan is ready to be able to use. You simply take your banana and you carefully put it in, making sure that there's some butter underneath it to keep it from sticking. And the reason why we're using such a large pan is that you have lots of space between the bananas. I'm going to throw in a bit of nutmeg, a bit of cinnamon, a bit of ginger. I'm going to use some whole cardamom on the outskirts there. And I'm going to take something here it's a long pepper. It's a beautiful smelling sort of fragrant. If you smell that, it's beautiful. I'm going to put probably 4 pods of this in the outskirts of the butter. You can remove that before serving, but it'll definitely add and infuse. And you let that cook for about 2 minutes. Start turning your heat up probably to about medium heat. Give it a good little shake. I've added the smaller bananas just to see what they're going to do. And I'll probably bring all of this a little forward. Watch your fingers as you're doing this. Use tongs to move the smaller bananas around. They're a little more integral. I wouldn't be doing that too much with these other bananas. They're getting a little soft. You want to try to make sure that you keep these intact as much as possible. And again, with stainless steel, you don't have to worry about cutting through on the actual surface. It's not going to hurt the steel at all. What I do like a lot are that these smaller bananas are giving me a much better look, and they're probably what I'm going to use for the actual shot. This is where it starts getting a little crazy. You take your brown sugar. I have 2 cups of brown sugar, and I have the remainder of the butter. This is a fair chunk of butter, but again, it's sort of, you're doing a 1-to-2 ratio between your fat and your sugar. You want that butter, I'd actually take that off the heat. You do not want it to brown, but you do want it to bubble like it's doing right now. This is the perfect time to actually add your sugar. So I would do 1 cup of loose brown sugar first, and you're going to mix that. You want to make sure that you're getting it through. This is still on low heat, and that's That's looking pretty good. Still see there's a lot of butter that's unaccounted for. It hasn't mixed up. There's your second cup of sugar. And the smell is fabulous right now in the kitchen. To do a proper cookie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some almond butter. You could take peanut butter, but really you want the almond butter. You're going to smear that on properly. Taking a different one, you're going to use a chocolate hazelnut spread. You're going to put that together. Then you're going to take the third cookie, put that there. That is your beautiful dry cookie. You'll see that it's starting to caramelize a bit. I'm actually going to turn the heat up a bit because now I'm paying full attention. We've let this cook, and in a rather frantic frenzy, we've added 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream, 35% cream. I'll be honest with you, sugar is difficult. You have to balance these things out, and the only way is to know the end ingredient. The best thing though is that if things aren't looking good and it starts turning into a fudge, that means you need more cream. If it starts and it's too buttery and there's too much oil and it hasn't come together in this particular type of way, that means you need either more sugar or you need more butter if it's actually solid. So it's just balancing those things out and also balancing the heat that you're working with. You don't have to use alcohol, but you should. I think in this particular case, that's what really gives a beautiful flavor. The alcohol's burnt off, and actually what I'll do is I'll flambe it just quickly because everybody likes to see that. You don't have to. If I had a gas stove right now, I would probably just flick the pan to the side and set it on fire. But in this particular case, we're just going to make sure that our sugar is hot and that we've got this nice, beautiful butterscotch consistency. And then we're going to heat the pan up and get ready for things. We have some beautiful rum here. Actually, this is from Havana. And we took this in. This is a nice dark rum. That's sort of the flavor I'm going for. Your rum is at room temperature, as is your sugar. If it's not going to catch on fire. I've had a few times where that's happened, and you need them both at the same sort of space. So I'm going to go with, sure, a lot of rum. And you're going to set it on fire, hopefully get a nice flame. And this is where you want to put your bananas in. Take your wooden spoon out. This is where you want to carefully put bananas inside. Through the flambe. Some people do this at tableside. I think that's a little risky, especially if you've actually been having a good evening. That might end up in some lawsuits later on. You're just wanting, you see you've got this beautiful sauce, you're letting it bubble up a bit, you don't want it to cook anymore. You've already cooked your bananas, you're just wanting to infuse the sauce, the bananas with the rum. And I would say within 30 seconds we're going to be ready to plate. Okay, so here we go. This is the big tough part. You're going to now try to produce, I'm going to try to produce something that actually looks good on a plate. So I'm going to take my cookies. I have one set here. I'm going to take the slotted spoon that I have. I'm going to come over, I'm going to take my bananas. What I want to make sure is that I'm getting my most beautiful bananas out at this particular moment. So you only get one chance at this. I'm taking one. Taking two. I'm going to take one of the big ones, push that across. I'm going to take some milk chocolate, some beautiful milk chocolate, put that here as we go across. Nobody is going to complain about having some chocolate shaved. Take my second cookie, add it there, went down the plate. And there we are.